And I wonder if you have sort of delved into certain types of music that, because you've maybe had the time, although with three young children, I probably doubt it, but you know, something that unexpected perhaps has happened to you.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I wish, at the beginning of lockdown, I thought, well, maybe I'm going to sort of learn Finnish or something, or
Yes.
those long-term projects that you always want to do, particularly as a conductor, because unlike you, I suppose we don't have the immediate medium of an instrument that makes a sound. So there are many more diverse things that go into being a conductor. It's not, we don't make a sound. It's more about a wider, cohesive whole of music, I guess. What I have really enjoyed doing, and this has actually just been because I've had the breathing space in terms of learning repertoire to do, is enjoy some of those long-term projects about actual repertoire. And they're things that I have, always wanted to do and find the space. But the problem is, as a conductor, you're quite often learning music on a strict timetable for the next few months, the next years. You have everything plotted out in front of you, often for 2-3 years. And within that space, that diary, you may have only one little slot where you could have any breathing space, because otherwise you have to learn a Mahler symphony, or you have to learn whatever. And these things take a huge amount of time. So what I have actually really enjoyed doing was listening, sitting down with scores to music that I know I want to conduct at some point, or maybe even not in my life. And I don't know, and there's so much music that partly some of it is our guilty music, that music that as a conductor, I really should have listened to, and it's funny when you see
Give an
other people.
example.
Oh no, it's too embarrassing. I mean, other conductors. Actually, I was pleased to see Simon Rattle said, I think last year on his guilty list was Elijah. I think Mendelssohn's Elijah, a piece he'd never heard before. And it's music like that where you think, well, how have you got through so long without hearing it? And then you think, well, quite easily, because there's thousands of pieces of music, and okay, I'll give you a few. I mean, where do we start? Okay, to be honest, Mahler's Third Symphony, not a piece I've really ever got to know before. I've conducted one movement of it quite a lot. Various Bruckner symphonies, Sibelius's Fourth Symphony. The list goes on. The music that I've just bypassed for some reason. I didn't actually listen to it yet, but I hardly know the Messiah at all. I've hardly ever listened. I know various choruses from it. Apologies. That's my doorbell.
How lovely.
Handel's Messiah. I hardly know any of it, and that's quite embarrassing, because I was brought up in the British choral tradition, and it's a piece that everybody seems to know and do, and there it is. There's a guilty admission, but.
Well, I remember playing the timpani part to that as a student about 100 times. So
right,
I will say I do know it quite well. But
come on, Evelyn, you must have a guilty. Do you have a guilty secret?
Oh, I'm not sure if I do, because I'm actually a small listener of music, because I appreciate music by seeing it, and so I think possibly I've enjoyed getting into much more ethnic types of music during this whole lockdown period, which you'd expect a percussion player anyway to do, but actually, because my emphasis has been on solo work, it's been trying to get the repertoire, as you well know, and we can talk a little bit about our collaboration with Michael Doherty's Second Percussion Concerto, but I think it's given me a chance to, I think, connect, as I say, with the instruments more. And so this isn't a guilty pleasure, but one of the things I've been trying to do is catalogue all of the instruments in the collection. Wow. And it's allowed me to sort of look at a cajon, for example, box type of drum, wooden drum, and get into a lot of information about it that I hadn't actually realised before. And then look at a lot of players playing it, then different approaches, different tools that are used on it, and all of this kind of thing. So this one instrument might have taken me a whole week or a fortnight or whatever to just catalogue because I've kind of been keen to explore it a bit more. And so from that point of view, I felt like a student again, and it's just been absolutely wonderful. So I guess it's been a really nice distraction from thinking, oh, what should I practice, repertoire wise and so on, because so much of the repertoire that was learnt and prepared for the concerts at the beginning of lockdown were suddenly out of the diary and not being put back in. So you actually find yourself spending weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months and months, preparing something, learning something, and it's just gone. So you've got to get over that hurdle and think positively and not think, oh well, that was a waste of time or something. Actually really see, well, no, it wasn't a waste of time, because from that you were able to develop X, Y, or Z. So it's like, I haven't answered your question, I realize that.
You're not going to give me Elijah then.
No, but no, actually, I think, there are, dare I say, quite a lot of percussion repertoire written by percussion players that was really necessary to do at the beginning of exploring solo percussion. But certainly those pieces are definitely, in the dungeons right now, and hopefully wouldn't see the light of day. So I think historically, we're forgiving in some respects, but